Andrew, welcome to the podcast. So we've been working together for a little while, doing some Google ads and some YouTube ads together. And some important context to this conversation is an announcement from Meta a couple of weeks ago that they were looking to completely replace ads and have anyone be able to run an unlimited amount of ads on their system by next year. So first, before we get into like what you do and how you're using AI, specifically in the context of ads, like what do you kind of think of that statement from them?
Yeah, I think to some degree, Zuck is full of it. You still can't have yeah, for images, like sure, like I'm AI can take your products, create photos, put it, have people holding it, doing all that stuff. That's great. But like there's still not the capacity for an AI influencer to like point up to something or have like normal human face movement. And I genuinely think if all ads are AI, you're going to see a massive like of the Facebook platform. People are not going to, I don't think people are going to just like to see just AI ads. Like they're on there
Uh,
to be entertained. They're on there to see what other people are doing. If it's all fake, they're going to leave. So I don't think that's in, I don't know like if his announcement is like we're introducing AI to the platform to make it easier to get started, but AI is still not dynamic or fluid enough to look like a real person. And I also think there will be like massive like lawsuits too against Meta if he just goes to like straight AI, only AI content. I think it would actually be a bad move for them. But from my understanding, like I do think it's going to be like we're rolling out like these AI options. But yeah, Meta always like I feel like announces these big things like, same thing with Google. They're like, we're getting rid of cookies. And they're like, actually, we can't do that. Like,
yeah,
yeah. And Meta was like gonna get rid of ABO a while ago. And then it was like, actually, we can't do this. So I have a feeling this is gonna be another thing like, that is gonna be like, we're doing this. And it's like, actually, this is not a good idea. So
I don't know what's going on behind the scenes where I don't know the product team isn't speaking to the marketing team, which isn't speaking to the engineering team, where the marketing team is just one step ahead for some reason, and everyone else is trying to catch up and fumble around.
yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's like I could see that, that's happening in the next 5 years potentially. But yeah, right now I think, yeah, I just don't think it's a good call for Zuck to go like fully AI.
Probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
Something you mentioned in there and we're going to get into today is like UGC ads, so user generated content ads. Like how long have you been in advertising yourself?
Yeah, so I've been doing it. I kind of started out in like PR and like in 2017. I've been in it for like 9 years, and then after a couple of years in 2019, I switched to ads. And I've just like straight direct response marketing. I've been doing that ever since. Yeah, I think I just like it's very easy to see like exactly what's going on. You can see dollar in and dollar out.
Uh, what have you noticed with like UGC ads over the past 5 years, for example? So in like my conversations, even 2.5 years ago, it was just kind of becoming a thing that you could do like UGC ads on scale. Could you maybe describe to the audience like what they are and kind of what you've noticed in terms of a trend with them?
Yeah, I think UGC influencers are gonna start having to look for other jobs. Before you used to have to like if you had a script, you had to pay somebody to talk through it. Now there's some pretty like robust AI creator platforms like Arc Ads or Creatify. So it costs me about $10 to generate a UGC content or UGC looking content, let's call it that, on those platforms. Well, why am I going to pay an influencer $300 when I can just pay a UGC influencer $10, or a UGC influencer company generation company like $10 per video? Like it doesn't make any sense to keep using influencers, and they're pretty decent. You have to mess with it a little bit. Like all in all, it probably cost me about $20 a video to test a script. A lot of times we're putting captions near the mouth, so it's hard to see them speaking. And we could put
Uh,
like filters over it. We shrink them down. We change the background. That's a really big one. Like we see huge conversion gains by putting them like in the bottom right hand or left hand corner. And then just having a looping video or something related to what's going on. Or what the ad is talking about in the background. So, and it's very hard to tell that it's UGC if you're not really, or sorry, it's very hard to tell it's AI if you're not really paying attention.
that was going to be my question. Like, how close to real life are they right now? And like, how long do you reckon before it's indistinguishable?
Yeah, I think right now it's definitely like if you're looking at it a lot, you can tell. But sometimes like, even my wife will be like, "Hey, look at this video." I'm like, "That's AI." Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. So, I think for people who aren't like very like into this stuff, I think it's already very hard for them to tell. If you're really into it and you're looking for it, I think it's going to be like 3 or 4 years until you'll barely be able to distinguish if it's a human or not. The main problem is like their eyes move in ways that normal humans' eyes wouldn't move.
Hmm.
The voice you can edit to make it sound real, but the inflection is still a little odd. Like they might go up an inflection where they shouldn't go up or down where they shouldn't go down. And so I think the easiest way to tell right now is a voice. Or if you just keep seeing the same person over and over again promoting different brands on your feed, that's a pretty dead giveaway.
That's a telltale sign. Um, Talk me through your process exactly. Talk me through what tools you're using, how you're using them. Like, take me from point A to point F.
Yeah, so I just did this. I just had a call with this CMOS brand yesterday. I think the brilliant thing, we'll go over like the scripts that I put into ChatGPT, and then also like how I took like scripts from TikTok, put them into ChatGPT, had it rewrite it, and then finally get it to an influencer. So let me share my screen. There we go.
And just for people that are audio only, if you could kind of just describe what you're doing as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, so I'm going to do this for a CMOS brand. The really amazing thing about this is like to get any like to get any kind of results on Meta in a meaningful way, you need to test like hundreds of creative. That's like the main thing that we do. Like the first thing we do when we get an account is we write 50 hooks per angle. So if you have 3 angles, that's 150 hooks. And yeah, we're definitely using ChatGPT to do this. I'm not writing it all.
Mm.
um, and then but you can do that. You can now do that with scripts and videos, which was impossible before without paying tens and tens of thousands of dollars. So the main thing is like I'm taking this video, like I'll take a video on TikTok, I'll find one that I like. It doesn't even, the great thing about this is it doesn't even have to be in the same industry. It could be any industry. You can have ChatGPT rewrite a script that you like for your brand by giving it your brand information. So
Mm.
yeah, if you're listening, basically we're going to TikTok. Like, let's just say I like this video, or let's find one right here. Yeah, it's, whatever CMOS review, right? Like we're going to do a review video. I'll take this video, I'll put it into Descript. So Descript is just, it's basically free. It's like a way to get like the script, and it's actually very accurate. So obviously this is not the same video, but I'm just showing y'all pre-made stuff so my computer doesn't like lag out while we're on the podcast. But yeah, we'll take the script from Descript and I'll show you. We'll put it into ChatGPT. And what I'll do is it's like, I think a lot of people get really confused about how ChatGPT works. It is not like it works on data. It doesn't work by you telling it what it should like think, if that makes sense. So you need to upload like good data sets to it. So for example, I see a lot of people that are like, you are a master copywriter, you're this, you're that. You don't need to tell it any of that. You need to give it a data set so that it can find patterns and so that it can understand what's going on between the relationships between the words and the data set. So I think that's the number one thing people don't understand about AI. They think they need to like, yes, if you want it to write like Albert Einstein or like, Joe
Mm.
Polish, like tell it to write like that, it's going to go find that data set for you. But um, unless you have a specific person you want it to write with, you don't need to give it a long prompt. You just need to say like, hey, can you, rewrite this for my product? And then so you give it the script. You can kind of read this here. Like this is just an adjacent script that I have. It's like it's a don't get scammed scripts. We've been seeing those work really well recently. Like don't buy the fake ones. Don't get scammed. The government's about to shut this down. Like that's working really well in health and wellness right
Will
now.
you upload that every time fresh, or do you have like a custom project where you have this kind of in the
Yeah, so
memory of
it's
ChatGPT?
yeah, I'll show you it's basically like two prompts, and then I have to keep prompting it to get it to where I want. But yeah, the script, like if you have a collection of scripts you already like or videos you already like, just upload them to Descript to get it. But yeah, all I'm doing is I'm asking it one question. Can you rewrite the script I like for my product? Then I insert the script and then I give it all of the information. And this is for e-commerce. This works for lead gen. This works for coaches. This works for whatever. Just give it all of the information on your product page. That's your data set that you're giving it.
So we're looking name, the amount of reviews, the regular price, the
Yeah.
sale price, the ingredients, the quantity, the purchase options, subscription options, how you buy it on a weekly one, more payment options, benefits, why you should buy it, your mission, and CTAs there at the end. Yeah. Okay, so everything.
Exactly. And the easiest way is like go to the product, click on the page, and then hit Control A. That's going to select everything. And then hit Control C, and that's going to copy it. So this literally takes 2 seconds. And that's where you give it your data set. And then it's going to rewrite the script, and it's not going to be that good. That's not the point. The point is like to just get it to write its own script. And then now this is the prompt that really, really matters. So you tell it, great, because remember, if you're buying ads, the whole point of your ad, like you're just mining attention. That's all you want. You just want to interrupt people. You just want them to see something that like catches their attention. So like that's what you need to tell it to do. So I'll just say this prompt out loud because it works really well. But you just tell it, great, can you rewrite this and make it more intense? The script needs to generate intrigue and needs to start at the apotheosis or the climax of the problem the consumer is, to really hook them in. You still need to use the same framework as the script I gave you. Can you rewrite this 5 times and focus on 5 different reasons someone would buy this product? Each script should focus on one reason, 5 different scripts and 5 different reasons. And then you should also give it some reason. You should give it the information that you know as well. So basically, we're telling it, here's some of the reasons we found customers are buying below: bloating, weight loss, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, inflammation, low energy. And then finally, we tell it, feel free to use these, like the above reasons, or any data you collect on the internet. Please search the internet and TikTok to get a data set before writing my scripts. So you can tell it to go search TikTok for your product. That way it understands how people are talking about your product. So it's going to talk more like the people speaking about your product, which is really important here, because otherwise it's going to spit out just like kind of just crap, basically. But like, you know, I'll read one of these. There's 5 of them, obviously, but I'll read one of these just so y'all can get an idea of like what it does after you do this. So, weight loss accelerator. The scale hit a record high this morning, and I locked myself in the bathroom. I'm done feeling trapped. When the craving hits and nothing shifts, CMOS really helps. High fiber, low calorie gel that expands. Some of this you want to edit. It's like expands, curbs appetite, and gently nudges metabolism. Instead of saying this, I would say it's a high fiber, low calorie gel. I eat it with I would make it a little more personal. I eat it with, you know, breakfast every morning, and I literally don't feel hungry for lunch. Or eat it for breakfast every morning. I literally don't feel hungry for lunch. I never thought, you know, CMOS would make me lose weight.
You could probably add like that into the prompt as well, huh? To add that like degree of personalization as well, right? Personal experience.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so, but it's really like, and this is, I'll read the hook for the bloating one. My stomach's so distended, I can't breathe. I look 3 months pregnant and nothing I take works. So like, it'll spit out pretty good stuff.
Are you
and then
concerned about the ethics of this at all? Just how, like, it's just ChatGPT making up. I guess it's like, to some degree, if it's basing it off the evidence of like people's personal experience, but it does seem as if it's just like making up scripts at this point, making up reasons.
Yeah, I think that's to me, it's like, these are like, it's getting its data set from somewhere. So you could say it's writing in the spirit of like the people that like, it's an amalgamation of what everybody who is using this is thinking or saying. So like,
Mm.
it's not, I don't know, like, I don't know. I feel like this kind of goes back to the thing. It's like, does a human need to write everything? Like, not really. Like, does like I like to use music as an example for this. It's like, people are like, electronic music isn't real music. And then it's like, okay, well then like, what constitutes real music? Like, do you have to like make all your instruments before it's considered real music? Or is like making electronic music with like synths, like still real
Mm.
music? Like, it's kind of like, it's writing in the spirit of the problem. I don't know, like, I don't know, like, and it's like at the end of the day, what's really stopping you from like going to get someone to write this review too, and then it's real? I guess that's where I get confused about the ethics piece, because it's like, okay, well, if I just like make something up and then have someone go say it, like I guess that makes it real, but I don't personally don't really understand the difference of that. Like it's basically the same thing. Like if I just have my wife record a video and post it on TikTok of this, then it's like, okay, well now it's on TikTok and now it's real. So
Yeah, I guess
yeah,
it's just making sure like the information isn't misinformation, right? Like it's at least having some anecdotal evidence
yeah,
to back that up and make sure whatever you're kind of saying or providing isn't dangerous. And if you're promoting CMOS is known to be a great supplement for all these things. But it
yeah,
just does raise an interesting thing, like if someone is a bit more malevolent in how they want to like produce these ads or sell a certain thing, is that in a couple of years' time it's going to be indistinguishable to see a human from AI and they can say whatever they want about anything.
yeah. And I think, I mean, it's up to you. Like we don't post like we verify what ChatGPT is writing to make sure that like, CMOS actually helps with bloating, right? Like you don't want to like, also that's just not gonna be good for the brand if it doesn't actually help with what you're saying it helps with, and people are never gonna repurchase. So I think like yeah, you do need to verify what it's saying, but it's also just a generator to help you, generate new ideas and new hooks and all of that stuff.
Just interesting, like where we're
Yeah.
entering. I think I don't know if you do the same, but anytime I'm searching something, I use the word Reddit at the end. Best headphones to buy 2025 Reddit,
Yeah.
best places to go and visit in this place Reddit, best restaurants in this place Reddit, because we trust like that peer-to-peer network, like the consensus of the masses with that upvote system. So it's like when we get to the point where AI is indistinguishable from humans, what does peer-to-peer even mean? I
Yeah.
know we're getting sidetracked. Let's not talk about it too
Yeah.
much because we can go down like the hypotheticals here for a long, long time. But it's interesting to think about and keep that in mind long term. But let's get back into this because I could speak about this forever.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And we can take these like basically we can take all five of these scripts, we can throw it into what's called arc ads.
Arc
And
ads
yeah,
AI.
yeah. And this is
Okay.
what's amazing. So like let's just say you have like, you have 30 different scripts, right? You can upload it to upload those scripts to arc ads. You can pick different actors. So like let's just say you do two different actors. So that's now going to be 60 videos, right? And then what we would do, like you could see for this brand, I created like one, two, three, four, five, six,
Can
seven,
you
eight,
can
nine.
you go on add actors for a second to see like the different choices quickly?
Yeah. So I made like 16 different scripts for this brand, and like under like doing this whole process, like took me about like 3, 4 hours, right? Just doing this. It's very quick. But yeah, you can pick anything. Like you could do like female, male, young adult, adult,
So let's
senior, kid.
go let's go young adult male, for example. Let's see what
Yeah,
we've
young
got.
adult, male.
Are these
Yeah.
real people or are these all completely AI generated?
They're real people. They upload themselves like speaking and like moving around, and yeah,
Got you, and then you can basically the AI manipulates their voice and their face to move in a particular way.
exactly. Yeah.
That's
And then
unbelievable.
you can pick situations. Like we see green screen. I mean, it depends. Like if you're selling gym clothes, do one in a gym, right? Like we have people like in a jack dude in a gym, right?
Got you.
Like,
Let's do, for example, let's do kitchen because we're talking about CMOS, so maybe he's in his
yeah,
kitchen taking some supplements.
this guy's even holding like
He's holding some
something
vegetables.
green. Yeah.
Where else would they be? They might be cooking. Let's do cooking. See what that looks like.
Yeah, cooking. That might be more popular with females. Let's see. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
you
have a
might
lot
need
more
to take
female ones
out.
here.
Yeah, there we are.
And then you
That's
could add adults
crazy.
too. Yeah. But you got people in
Wow.
a kitchen chopping up a cucumber,
So
washing
go
dishes.
on to the cucumber video for me for a second. Click on that. Can you click on it? Like double click into it? Does it
Click
have
on it.
audio that's
Yeah.
attached to it?
Yeah, if I click on it, it doesn't like I would just click on it and then I would just say add actors
Okay.
and then I could put my script in here.
All right, let's do that. Let's take all the way through. So we've picked an actor.
Let's do this. And then you have to edit it. So like this was actually pretty funny. I'll like send these scripts to people because I'll make them so that the AI can read it. Like, and they'll be like, they'll send it back to me like, this is grammatically incorrect. I'm like, yeah, but
Mm,
it's like you have to add extra periods sometimes if you want emphasis on things. If you add quotation marks, it'll make it sound different. If you add
got
question
you.
marks, it sounds different. Yeah. So you're writing it like you're going to use incorrect grammar on purpose to like make it sound more like a normal human talking.
Mm. All right, so can we see this? We've got Jennifer, we've got our script. Let's have a look and
Yeah.
see how quickly that generates.
Oh, it'll take a little while. These are not fast yet.
How long do they take usually?
It could be like 4 or 5 minutes. So,
Okay. Can we
but
go into one of your
yeah,
past ones with the
yeah,
the blonde chick there, for example? Should be
yeah,
worth noticing that you could pick attractive people on
yeah,
whether you pick male or female. You have the option to pick very conventionally attractive people, which is interesting. I have noticed on LinkedIn as well. I get a lot of connections from like hot AI generated models. And
yeah,
I know for a fact that people use this as like customer sales reps and executives to reach out to guys on LinkedIn because guys on LinkedIn are way more likely to accept a connection from an attractive woman than they are from a man they don't know, which is
yeah,
just interesting playing into that psychology too.
exactly. Yeah, and we put her like I'll show you what one of these ads like we don't stop there. We'll put it back. Like the important thing is to like add a background to it because what happens, let me find the right.
So I'm just on nothing right now. I can't see anything currently.
Yeah, I'm trying to find this. Here it is. Okay. Actually, I think they're already on my desktop. Here it is. Okay, yeah. So we'll put like this is not the one that I wanted. Where is it? No, I think it is this one. Yeah, we'll just put like crazy stuff like going on behind them. This is for a nitrous oxide booster supplement, but like we'll just put like a girl like peeling a banana, then we'll put them over the site. But it's a lot like it looks more like organic content. And then we can also shrink them a little bit too, but it gets way harder to tell it's AI if you're, doing this.
Wow. And what have you seen in terms of like, so I mean, to describe to listeners as well, we've got like kind of a green screen woman, blonde woman speaking into a mic, and then in the background, she's speaking over a nitric oxide brand. She's just like on the website, essentially, as if she was making her own recommendations, her own content here. And that's cost you like $10 to $20 to make.
Yeah, with editing, because we have to pay someone to edit the backgrounds and like make different backgrounds, it's about $20 a video.
Got you.
And that's why, like, honestly, that's why this is amazing. Like, you're gonna tell me 100 videos cost me like 2 grand. Like, I'll just have somebody
Mm.
make videos for all my clients, like 8 hours a day. Like, that's all. Like, that used to cost like, $30,000.
What have you noticed in terms of performance? Like, is UGC much more effective than other strategies? And in terms of like what products or what services UGC performs best in, what have you noticed?
Yeah, so it works. It works. It can work with anything. You'll have to fit it to what you're doing, right? So with eCom, some really easy backgrounds are like if you make like we'll do like the website, the product, we'll do like a looping video as something related to the like product as well. So like for instance, we're working with a weight loss like brand, and what we did instead of doing a before and after, I think y'all saw this like over here on Descript, but we just have like size 18, size 14, right? Size 12, size 8, and it's like a timeline. So you could put them over like graphics you've made. You can put them over like just a bunch of after pictures, like looping after pictures. You can put them over just like, I don't know, we'll just find like other stuff on TikTok, like backgrounds that we like and recreate them. Um, but yeah, it's kind of like the world is really your playground with this. Like this made the like the actual threshold to get into this like so much lower. Like I could
Mm.
basically like teach an intern how to do this, and I do. And it's like now this person can do work that you used to have to pay somebody like 240K a year for, right? Like or have some crazy
Wow.
payout for. So
Damn. Where do you see this in like a couple years' time? Like, what's missing right now, and I guess what do you predict the flow will be like in a couple years? Like, I assume there'll be less steps.
yeah, I don't know. The biggest problem is they're like not dynamic and they don't like they haven't quite gotten down like you can't have them point to something, right? So you see a lot
Mm.
of static kind of people, like it could be in a podcast setting, a green screen setting, like, you know, whatever, but it's like it's very much like not super dynamic. That's where like we try and like we'll put filters over it, we'll shrink them down, we'll do green screen. That way it's like and put captions over them so you can't really tell that they're not moving as much. I think when it can understand. What would be really cool is like if it could mirror you, like let's just say like the video's going and I'm back here. I think this would be huge. And pointed at one point and it pointed
Mm.
too. I think,
Mm.
or I was like kind of coming back and forth. If you could have it mirror your motion, I think that would be a huge, like that would be insane because then you could have it point to things, you know, hopefully I think the easy thing for them to get better is like the eye movement and the inflection.
Mm.
I think the more these like algorithms like evolve, the easier that's going to get. But I think a big jump would be for like while the video is going on in the background, you can actually move or point or whatever, and the AI actually follows you. I don't really see a way, or you could tell it to point up at a certain point. Things like that, I think would be huge. I don't know like a timeline for that, but I mean, ChatGPT got way better in a year, but I would think that that's like a year and a half, 2 years away, probably.
Mm. In terms of like macro trends you're noticing on what's working, like for me, a lot of what I've seen is working is people taking a step back in terms of production quality. So a lot of ads that perform really well, a lot of content that performs really well is unedited, not color graded, someone speaking into like their $20 kind of Apple microphones from their earphones, stuff like that is performing incredibly well because it's a bit back to basics when everything else is so overproduced. Are you seeing any other trends? Do you agree with that? Like take that one step further as well. Just give me an idea of the land in general.
Yeah, I think overproduced stuff is always like valuable for TV. Like I think it always just depends on the platform. Like
Brought up an interesting point about TV. Remember, was that example from a couple of years ago of the Super Bowl, and Kanye did an advert where he was like in the back of a car and he recorded on his phone at the time, and he was like, "You should go and buy shoes at Yeezy.com," and it's just like this shitty, grainy video. And I can't remember how big the sales were. Kanye Super Bowl ad sales and how much he'd spent on it. Let me get some figures quickly. Generated $19.3 million in sales for Yeezy.com from that one ad where he spent $0 on making it. He must have spent a couple of million on getting the spot, but yeah,
yeah.
how wild is that?
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah. But yeah, I like yeah, and I think for production quality, like platform matters. But yeah, I mean, you're I didn't even think about that. I don't watch TV at all really anymore. But
No
I
one does.
remember, but I do remember seeing like you're right. I think even the last it wasn't a Yeezy ad, it was something else. But yeah, I remember seeing like cell phone videos like on some of the ads at that point too. So, but yeah, and I think like I do think production quality. If you have a high, like, who was it? The Harmon brothers, they did the Squatty Potty. Like, I think you can still like have really good produced stuff, but like a majority of the day-to-day ads, like the stuff you're gonna see on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, it's all gonna be like, what is this person doing? How are they using it? Like educational, or it's gonna be entertaining. Like the person's just being funny about something. And so, yeah, I think that's I think I don't think production quality will go up specifically on these platforms, but I still don't see like very high production quality things going away like ever because I think some of that's always still entertaining to people as well, but I think we'll just continue to see less and less of it. So,
With the moat to get into your industry and the barrier to entry being so much lower now, presumably a lot more people can get into the industry and do the same thing as you do. Have you noticed that that's the case, that there is more competition?
no, like not yet. I mean, honestly, like maybe soon. At the end of the day, like I think if you're excellent at what you're doing, like even if there's a lot more people at the lower level, there's still never like a ton of people at the higher level of any kind of skill set. So I think as long as you strive for excellence, it's like not going to be a problem. I mean, iOS 14 took out a million agencies. Like we were fine. Like there's
iOS
always going to be,
14 took out
yeah, that's
agencies. Why?
when because Apple pulled all their URL tracking parameters from iPhone. So iPhones scrub everything now. They send zero data, or they send a few signals back, but like there was so much data loss when that rolled out. It was, yeah.
I think you might be fine in the UK. I'm pretty sure the UK passed a law where iPhones aren't completely private in the UK anymore. So you might be fine there, but the US, I'm pretty sure you're screwed for privacy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I think this is also something that's like very new as well. So I think like eventually people will figure it out more and more. But right now, there are some people doing stuff like this, but still most agencies are like, I mean, every account I get into, I mean, I only see like only like 15 ads are being posted a month. It's like the structure is usually not bad and people understand that pretty well, but like people don't understand the actual volume of creative you need to scale to like 10, 20, 30, $40,000 a day. And like honestly, some of it is like I don't feel threatened at all. Like I'll teach anybody anything because you still have to make 50 of these. You still have to understand what constitutes a good script. You still have to understand what constitutes a good hook. You still have to figure out how to put all that together. You still have to get the AI to like talk right and all of that stuff. And it's like I find that like a lot of agencies are just in general like kind of, lazy. And so if I'm putting out 50 to 100 pieces of content a month and everybody else is putting out 20, even if the barrier to entry is lower, they're still not doing the work to like, get to that level. So, and I learn 5 times as fast if I'm putting out 5 times as much content. So,
Yeah. I mean, it raises an interesting point and something I've noticed, that AI has made people lazier as well, as the amount of people that expect to one-shot results now that they've used ChatGPT a little bit, or they have these unrealistic expectations of what AI can do in terms of how agentic it is currently. So people get disheartened when they type in one prompt and it doesn't immediately do everything for them, which almost like it kind of reduces the competition, even though the opportunity is there for competition to increase. When we're talking about creative, you've obviously worked with a ton of creative, you've taken a lot of influence, a lot of inspiration from different creatives you've seen out there. When I say the words excellent examples of a creative or great examples of high performing creatives, An example that comes to my mind, I remember reading up on newsletter ads, and one that performed incredibly well for the hustle was this Facebook ad of a guy that looked cold. And it was like, don't get left out in the cold. Join the hustle today to like join your peers. And it's like they ran that Facebook ad into the ground. They must have gained like 300,000 subscribers from this one ad. So when we think about that context, what comes to mind in terms of incredible creative to you?
Yeah, I think to me it's all about like testing different frameworks. So like I think like we're like here, I'll show you. We have a hook sheet that we like to use where we record all of our frameworks. So like we can actually tell ChatGPT to like work through all these different frameworks. And then we have more over here. I think I have like this is 10. And then I have like another 22. So I have like 32 different frameworks that I can work through with ChatGPT. So like anytime I see like a pattern, I just add it to this sheet because then I can upload it to ChatGPT and ask it to like write hooks or make images for me. So for instance, if you were like, don't get left out in the cold, like I could add that in here as a framework, and I'll show you what this looks like in ChatGPT too. Um, but yeah, you can easily have it like iterate on that, like, to say like things are heating up, right? Like you're
Mm.
burning money if you're not using AI. So I think there's easy ways to, or you're burning money if you're not reading this newsletter, right? I think there's easy ways to like iterate on that if you have the framework. You could say like getting left behind hurts. You could have an image with somebody that's like, I mean, all I can think of is images of people hurt, which Meta doesn't allow. But my point is, it's like there's a lot of ways to iterate on that. And if you have the base framework, you can upload it to ChatGPT and have it iterate. I guarantee if they just ran that one ad for 300,000 subscribers, if they had iterated it on it it could have been like 450, 5. You know,
Mm.
I think that's what a lot of people miss out when they're writing ads. And I can show you like, let me see. This is a good one. This is an affiliate. But like basically, yeah, okay. So you can see how this looks like. Like I'll give it, here we go. Okay, yeah, I give it these frameworks at the top. So if I kind of give it some information about don't get left out in the cold,
5 high
it's gonna,
intent promise headlines, 5
yeah,
equals less than more than headlines, 5 POV headlines, 5 if you want end result headlines, 5 stop wasting, 5 try watch me, 5 nightmare, 5 problem solution, 5 free for all, 5 myth fact. Wow.
yeah. And then you can keep, so it's gonna spit out all this stuff. And I do the same prompt that I said earlier. Great, can you rewrite this and make them more intense? The hooks need to generate intrigue. They need to start at the apotheosis or the climax of the problem the
Never
consumer is
heard the word
experiencing.
apotheosis before.
Yeah, it just means like the
The crux
climax
of the issue,
basically.
like the
Yeah, the
climax,
crux.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. These should be hooks for ads. You still need to use the same framework. There should be 50 hooks, 5 for each. And then this is like, and then like after that first, once you give it the second prompt, it's gonna write like much better stuff. But I'm showing you this because these are the frameworks that are in my hook sheet, right? These are just these.
Mm.
And then you can easily just give it your other frameworks too. Like I think I gave it the other. Yeah, I have a confession versus headlines. When you do X, Y happens. This is why I have trust issues. Stop doing this, do this instead. But yeah, and sometimes like you have to still go through all of this, but like you can get like, yeah, I like this one. When you eat clean all week and still feel like shit. Like
Mm.
these gummies like solved my problem, right? Like um stuff like that. But yeah, I'm just showing you like you can get it to spit out a lot of things, and then you can get it to spit out images. It's still kind of hard to get it to spit out images that like these products are wrong, but it was able to spit
Mm.
out like a pretty decent like image and like text for me.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Yeah.
It's getting there. When you're posting these AI avatars for the ads, you're posting them only from the brand account, or do you have like AI influencer accounts as well, that it comes directly from them as an individual?
No, we just post it from the brand account. There's not like, I mean, it's more about what you're saying. If you're like making claims, then it's gonna get, axed. But like, yeah, it's just from the brand account. There's no rules against AI right now. I mean, I think Meta wants us personally, I think Meta wants us to post more AI stuff so they can learn from it, if that makes sense. So,
Yeah, that makes total
yeah.
sense. Awesome. Well, Andrew, I want to thank you for coming on and kind of sharing this with us. If anyone can be bothered enough to spend the time learning this workflow, I mean, all the information's there. You just need to go and do it now. So I appreciate you coming on and sharing that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And if anyone has any questions, like feel free to, I'm sure you could put my email in the, whatever the description, but feel free to reach out and we can talk about like how easy this makes making creative now.
Awesome. I mean, I'll put your personal email, and then what's the company called if someone wanted to work with you as well?
Yeah, it's AdCrunch Digital. So it's just
Beautiful.
adcrunchdigital.com.
Easy peasy. All right, Andrew, thank you so much.
Bye, Lee.